I'm curious to see the Twitter updates on like what the next bug will be. That's like the new form of entertainment for me. Like every day I've been seeing new videos. I'm like, what? You can do that in the game now? You could break the game in this way now? That is crazy. So
sausages.
You have to deforest the entirety of South America to get to level 100 logging skill. The entirety of North American paper mills, historical documents printed by the time I hit logging level 50.
Like, let's be real. Like, all the quests are kill, search these chests. Kill, search these chests. Like
7 months of development at your fingertips.
we're going to talk about New World. A lot of people have played it. A lot of people have fucked around. A lot of people have opinions on it. So let's start right in on that. So Blade, I'm going to ask you first. If we start off with the good things, okay, what have you been enjoying about New World?
The music, the ideas behind the crafting system, and the variety. I mean, we were so limited on the first couple of betas with weapon types that the varieties of weapons, I'm actually really enjoying what we've got right now. And the graphics are lovely. I mean, that you're running through a mining spree or a logging trip, and you get that sunset hit on a hill crest. That's a sublime piece of coding. That's really, really well done.
Nice. Pow, you, sir. I think you've played it the most out of all of us, if I'm not mistaken. So give me what your thoughts are on the good stuff. We'll get into the bad stuff. Just the good stuff for now.
Oh, only good stuff. Okay. That sublime stuff that he said. Yeah. Well, graphically, the game is really well done. Their team did a good job with the graphics. I think the audio in the game is really good. Something about the sounds of like the mining and the gathering that you can hear off in the distance when running around really adds to the atmosphere of the game. As it just kind of pulls you in, lets you escape into that, which is good. Considering what is available in terms of dungeons, they're very basic, but they're still fun. They're good entry levels, and then they scale as you get higher up, and they become more exciting. And it could be the unknown as it's new. No pun intended, but yeah. There's something different, new. You haven't really been through them yet, so you kind of get like, okay, I'm excited to do this, but will it hold up after 10 times? I don't know. But the overall play of it feels good. I think pretty much the foundation of the game itself is very good. It's got a natural draw to it. That's why everybody jumped on it and went hard into it. So there's good there.
I agree.
I can't keep talking, otherwise I'm going to go into the bad before you're ready.
Yeah.
So you got
all right. All right, so let's take it over to Beaver. If you say just fishing, I swear to God.
No, it's not just fishing. Come on now. No, like there were like what Pal was saying. A lot of the game that draws you into it is just the escape. Like when you get into the game, you literally just escape into all the different things that you can do, because there is so much that you can do. Like everyone gives me shit because like one of my biggest things, like when I first got in there, like as soon as I found hemp, I created a fishing pole and then I started fishing. Okay. I don't care. Fishing was great. I got a lot of good materials until they nerfed it. And it was, I had it over 100, but like working on the skills didn't really feel like a chore. Like it felt good. Like it was like, oh, I want to craft a bag. Okay. So I'm going to go work on this skill up. And then, I have to go work on this crafting. Okay, cool. Now I can build my bags. When you buy your first house, like everything, in my opinion, like when you did all this stuff, everything felt rewarding, right? When you were able to, especially if you could do it yourself, it just felt very rewarding.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that. For me, it's a little bit of everything. It's a weird love, hate, because a lot of the good things that I enjoy about the game you can find in a lot of other games. Like I still think of like New World as like almost like a ESO version of an MMO. It has a lot of similarities there. A lot of the things that are in New World you can do in other MMOs, but I think it's just like the way that you can do it in New World that seems interesting, like gathering trees, mining, all of that stuff, being able to do that right out of the gate. The graphics, the sound effects, when you are mining away and you hear like the echoes of you chipping away at stuff. And yeah, so you guys pretty much covered all the good stuff. So let's get into the bad stuff. And
okay. Are we taking tickets? Is there like an order, or are we compartmentalizing this?
you could do whatever you want to do with it. I'll start it off by saying, I'm sure a lot of people have seen videos that have been floating around. There's a lot of glitches. There were invulnerability glitches. There were gold duplication methods. Basically, the wars are useless because they can't be flipped at this point because of like lagging out wars and everything like that. I'll say, dude, the coding, the coding in the chat was like a huge thing. They could put in codes to basically take any image from within the game and throw it in chat, magnify it, and throw it in chat, like huge sausages.
Large sausages.
Yes.
Sausage.
Bigger problem than that was people could put in a specific code, put in words between the code, and if anybody in the game highlighted the words within the chat, it would crash their system. I know they fixed a lot of these things, but it seems like every time they try to fix something, a new bug shows up or gets discovered or whatever. So it's destroyed a lot of the game, and I'm sure each of you had personal experiences with things you don't appreciate with the game. So let's go around again and see what those things are. So Blade, throw us negativity about New World.
You have to deforest the entirety of South America to get to level 100 logging skill. The entirety of North American paper mills, historical documents printed by the time I hit logging level 50. Like the scaling, the grind is just fucking reasonable. Like fishing is relaxing, it's smooth, it's chill, but oh my god, it steals every moment of my attention in life just to catch a tadpole. Thank you. And I get 18 fishing experience points for that. Like the scale of so many things, the health, damage, the experience you earn doing certain activities. It's just their numbers are all wrong. The scales are all wrong. I'll leave mine at that.
All right, Pal, what about you?
Are they? I don't know. I think it's intentional because they don't have anything else for you to fucking do in that game. I think it's intentional and purposeful that it's going to take you to do that because you're going to spend 60 levels doing that bullshit. And then guess what you do at 60? More of that bullshit. So what I don't like about the game or what I think is bad about the game, a lot of it is going to be opinion based, but I'll also go on a limb and say that like the opinion is probably more rooted in a lot of fact. If you pulled the player base, it wouldn't be just opinion. It'd be like, no, this is a fact. This is ruining your game. For the few that do enjoy it and stuff, like that's great. I do enjoy the game too. We'll go with that. 100%. I do like this game. You don't put 200 plus hours, 300 plus, 400 plus hours in this game total to fucking hate it. All right. So there's that. But when you have a crafting system that is like based on a tiered setup to where you rely on low craft regions to go to the next tier, which then requires double the amount of low craft regions just to finish that tier to go to the next tier, then triple the amount of regions from the low class, you eventually run out of people that are actually farming the low level shit because they've all leveled. And then prices go in reverse. It's like it just gets fucky. And the last thing I want to do at 60 is do the same fucking skill grinds that I did for 60 levels to get to 60. It's boring gameplay. It's not MMO gameplay. It's not even sandboxy at that point. It's just you're wasting my fucking time. If I was paying a monthly sub, I wouldn't pay it. I would have noped right the fuck out of that. The bugs I can deal with and contend with. It's whatever. I expect that kind of stuff. I knew when Amazon said, hey, here's a game and we're going to release this. Here's the beta test. It comes out in 1 month. And then everybody beta tested it. And the biggest fucking thing we saw was Asmongold talking about a giant elite bear that him and a giant pile of people went and killed was the highlight of that fucking beta test for an MMO.
Yeah.
They said, okay, so they're going to fuck it. So then they delayed the game because they were like, there's nothing else here. There's like no dungeons. There's nothing there. And then they're like, we're going to delay it for like 7 months, 9 months, something like that. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're going to build a game that wasn't an MMO into an MMO in 7 to 9 months? You're fucking high. There's no way. That's absolutely not feasible. I don't give a shit how much money Bezos has got. You don't have, obviously, as we see now, there isn't the brains on the crew to fucking get it done. And the game's suffering for it. They could have taken a whole nother year to pile into that game and had like solid amount of content and everything else. It doesn't have to be as much content as like Final Fantasy or as World of Warcraft that's had, all these years of longevity. It just has to be able to be on the level of like one expansion that's coming out. If you look at the amount of content that's going to be, even in a shitty fucking game like Shadowlands from World of Warcraft, how much content is there and dungeons and everything else and the availability of all that stuff, accessibility, the raids, things like that. Like this game, it pales in comparison to that. You can exclude all the other years that WoW has development and just base it off that expansion, which is by far one of the worst. And it's still not even close to that level. You have to be competitive in today's market. It's just not going to happen. And the players are already stepping back. Gathalion, Shroud, everybody is like, nah, I'm done. I'm not going to play this till you fix it and do better. So yeah, content is definitely going to become a drag. I'm very excited to do the Lazarus run and Genesis. And that's the last 2 things I have on my list. I don't care about anything else going on in that game. I've tried to PvP and it's been nothing but exploit teams. So yeah, I'm going to run the 2 dungeons when I can with a group of people, and then I will be done with it until they add more content. So
yeah, I'm on the same page with that. What about you, Beaver? Is there big reasons why you've taken a break from it?
So it's all along the lines of like where POW was. Like for me right now, there's no like main like end goal, right? With like what is there really for me to do other than kind of complete the content that's there? Okay, cool, I can do that, but at this point, no one's really going to continue on it. They're slowly killing the game. But I think one of my biggest problems for myself, and this is like because you run into this a lot with this game, and I complain about it a lot, is the fucking questing. Like there's 2 main reasons I hate the questing in this game. One, they still haven't fucking fixed the spawn rates for this shit, so they really force you to be heavy fucking armor, right? They really force you to wear that shit and use specific weapons, because I want to be a light wearer with rapier. I'm getting my ass handed to me, because what happens is I can take on 2 to 3 characters or NPCs easily, right? Outside of that, if I'm fighting like one of the boss mobs and it's in one of those caves, all of a sudden shit just starts spawning on top of me and then I just die. Like it happens all the time, and I get so fucking frustrated because it's like that shit shouldn't be respawning on me 3 minutes into being into the cave. Like I've never seen an MMO ever spawn shit that quick. Like it's ridiculous. Like yeah, when it first launches, perfect, understandable. After the fact, no, not at all. Now the second part to questing is, holy shit, copy and paste the entire way up. Like let's be real. Like all the quests are kill, search these chests. Kill, search these chests. Like
7 months of development at your fingertips. Yep.
and it's all a roulette.
It doesn't make you want to play it. It doesn't like you're just I don't know. Like the mission, I the faction board one, I can understand those being kind of like repetitive and stuff, but like all the side mission quests, all the main story quests, it's almost the exact same thing the whole way through.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, we talked about that earlier today. That it's yeah, you're gonna do kind of the same shit in every game in a sense, but like there's a different. It's not the fact that you're doing the same thing; it's the delivery of that quest, right? Like WoW offers up the same bullshit, but they have like a plethora of about probably a dozen different types of quests, and then within those quests, sometimes, yeah, you're still killing things, but you take control of a turret and do it, or a flying machine, or something to change up the gameplay to make that feel more engaging and interesting. Even escort quests. There's no fucking escort quest in the game. And
thank God. I'd fucking lose my mind with the
I hate those.
I mean, you're walking around anyway. Why didn't they fucking add that shit in? But like,
True.
The questing hubs, there's no quest hub. It's like you're in a town, you're doing quests, they give you 2 at most, and you got to walk half a fucking continent over to do it, walk all the way back for them to be like, thanks, here's 1,000 XP for this bullshit quest that you have to do to get keyed for the dungeon. That's way more fun. And then they're like, and only 1 quest to do after, to walk all the way back where you just were to go pet the fucking dog and then come back to me and I'll give you maybe something else, like fuck off with that noise. It's so boring. Like it's tedious. It is so tedious.
Well, it's annoying too because the optimal way of questing and then I think the way they intended questing to be are very, very different things. Like for people to hit endgame, like level 60, the smart thing to do is level up like you're crafting no further than 50 because all the town boards will still want like iron ore, stone, green wood, everything like that. But as soon as you start getting above 50, you start getting higher resources that you need to turn in for those quests, but you don't get enough experience to balance that out. So like smart people don't do their crafting. They just say, fuck it, keep getting the easy quests, just travel town to town to town over and over and turn them in. And that is how you level up. Like that is the way that you should optimally level up. So it's just like, I was
doing it.
Yeah, it ruins the progression. Like if you want to be a big time crafter, smartest thing to do is wait and do it after you've leveled up a bunch, because as soon as you put too much time into it, your quest boards are going to request things from you that seem like damn near impossible or just really not worth the trade out value. Like, oh yeah, give me, 50 of those steel fucking ingots that you have 20 of to complete this quest. It's not worth it, even if you did have it.
Yeah.
And the side quests obviously could be better, but at the very least, just make them have more of them so you don't feel like you're just playing slot machine on all of the different town boards. The Azoth for fast traveling, I think they're stingy as fuck with that. I think they could totally hand out more of that just to ease up on all the walking around. But yeah, I mean, it goes on and on.
I'll throw in back with what Pat was saying earlier. I think he's right. I think they're time gating in lazy but creative ways. The amount of walking and the cost of Azoth fast travel, that's to keep you playing the game longer because it's going to take you 10 minutes to get to the next town.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I mean, a lot of this is like that. I mean, like when we literally talked about how the skills they are a really big grind. The whole game, I think, was made for people to still take their time and grind their way up. But we did have, of course, none of us were in this group, but we had people that were like level 60 within a few days, and then all of a sudden bitching, where's the content? Well, no fucking shit. I mean, the game, play the other side of it again. The game does offer a lot of content. It really does.
It offers a lot to do
but in that aspect, yeah. But like,
I don't think that's like.
Once you get past that, though, once you get like, okay, I spent a lot of my time doing that. So I put all that time, like that was what, like almost 160 some hours into a whole new character. I would consider that a win in terms of the content that I've done up until that. Right now, once you've done it and completed it or get bored with it, and there's no new content coming out or anything like that, then I mean, what's going to keep you coming back for it? You know?
Yeah, I think it's a bad mentality. I think to have, but I'm sure we all kind of have it with other MMOs. A lot of other MMOs are like, man, I can't wait to get to endgame because that's when the fun happens. That's where the shit goes down. That's where the rating and getting the high tier gear comes from. And New World has like that opposite of like, don't rush to endgame. You're going to be really disappointed when you get there. And that's just like a huge, I don't know, slap in the face. I feel like they should have made like one massive dungeon that is like insanely hard to get through, just so you had like something you could go, min-max your gear for to try to get into, which I guess still wouldn't work.
Oh, people would be fucking crying about that though. If they made a dungeon that was like almost untouchable, we'd be like, I can't beat it in the first fucking week of the game.
They would have already been through it by now. Let's be honest.
It would have been broken or something.
The thing the company's relying on is player-driven content. The game is, as I said, suffering through an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be PvP, if it wants to be PvE. They don't know. They're obviously very like green in terms of creating this type of a game, and they're using systems that have been done before, and they're implementing them poorly because they thought they'd be a really good idea. Situation example: factions. The 3-faction system is a bad idea. It's a broken system that will not have longevity. And I'm just waiting to see the server that comes up on Reddit that has everybody has moved to one side and just says, fuck you, we're playing the game our way. And then everything's owned by one color and everything's dumped down on cost. And they're all just living merrily and they still just go PvP whenever they fucking feel like it. Like, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, I think Territories was a bad idea.
They should have done 2 factions with one faction, third, if they're going to have a third, as a neutral that can war with either side. And that way, like, or like in terms of like a penalty system, like Arcage had East and West, and then they had the Pirates. And the Pirates were for if you PK'd players that were of your own faction too many times, it got reported. And you got those, arrested so many times. Eventually, you just had enough infamy points that you turned into a pirate. So you were red to anybody all the time. So any faction, anybody could just fucking kill you. And I think that kind of a system is very rewarding to a game too, if you want player driven content and stuff. The big thing is like, if they didn't have all these bugs and all these exploits and problems, do you think that the game would be suffering as bad as it is? In terms of like how it's supposed to be played. That's the other idea, is like you have to look at the whole thing is like, is it really as bad as it looks? Or is it as bad as it looks because of the underdevelopment, the half-baked shit show? Like, is that why it's not, is because it just can't operate the way they intended it?
Yeah. I personally think 3-faction wars are like an impossibility to get flowing correctly. So even if there was no exploiting, no bugs or anything like that, I feel like there'd be some, like, I'd hate to be purple on Eden. Well, I'll just put it that way. Like, if I was Syndicate on Eden, I'd be pretty miserable right now. And like the idea, if everybody could freely transfer to another server and you knew that server was completely controlled by, say, the Marauders, so all of your taxes were cheaper, all of your fast travel was, reduced in cost and all these things. Me personally, I feel like that would be really, really tempting. Not the conflict of it, but the ease of saving me fucking money all the time. And so I think that's like a bad system. Maybe it could be fixed, but I don't know how. Has anybody done any of the PvP stuff yet?
I did Outpost Wars yesterday.
Yeah, how did that go?
Terrible.
Was there exploits everywhere still?
Yep. One game went fairly chaotic and crazy and was just, it was get knocked down every few seconds. everybody, because they had these things called brutes that they summoned in, and I mean, you still got a ton of Azoth and gold for just doing this quick outpost rush. So outpost rush is really like what there is to do right now at endgame. That's the fun thing to go do, I guess, if you get excited for it. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. So one game lasted maybe 20 minutes and was all right. The second game I got in, they literally killed us so bad and pushed us to our spawn and conquered it out in less than 5 minutes. Like,
Whoa.
So one game went like 20 minutes, was a good fight. Everybody was killing. It was crazy. Next game was literally just, I mean, they wiped their asses with us and just annihilated us to spawn, and the game was over. And I still got almost as much points of Azoth for that fucking 5-minute game as I did for the 20-minute grind fest I had. It just wasn't even fun though. It's like you weren't enjoying it. But they were exploiting. They were using fireball exploits and stuff. So they were just literally just nuking the shit out of people like super fast, unlimited damage. Yeah. So
yeah, that's rough.
that's what I'm saying. You can't really enjoy the game because people fucking exploit. It's busted bullshit.
So this kind of reminds me of something. So I'm going to make a weird comparison, but bear with me here because I do have a point. Final Fantasy 14, when it launched, it did not launch well. I mean, most of us know the whole A Realm Reborn story to begin with, but I think that with someone like Square Enix, you are a huge tour de force in your sandbox. It's your environment. You are Final Fantasy amongst many other franchises, but they did this MMO very poorly. Amazon does not have that historical library to back up their failure. And with Crucible being canceled, 2 months after it went live, and then reverted back to beta and then was canceled, AGS is not having a fantastic track record because they're so big that when they fail spectacularly.
Yep, I definitely agree with that.
They were 0-4. They were 0-4. This is their one that they actually got out that has stayed out so far, and it's already looking like they are really close to just having to fucking shut it back down for an extended maintenance.
Yeah. What do you guys think the game needs to actually make it any better? Any big things like you're actually hoping for?
A new development team.
Void Gauntlet? Did someone say Void Gauntlet?
I see memes about that.
Honestly, I think they need to hire any other successful MMO's quest design team. They could hire the EverQuest 1 quest design team and do a better job than what they've got right now. I think a better and clearer map of progression, whether that's leveling through crafting, exploring zones, like there's 15 points of interest in this section of this map. You find all of them, blah blah blah. You could find that in the achievement stuff, but you have to really hunt and dig for that kind of thing. Make it bigger, make it more dynamic, make it a little bit more varied.
Yeah, especially like with the towns.
Yeah.
A lot of the towns
each
kind of
town
feel
has a
exact
sister,
the same.
like almost a copy pasta of another town.
Yep. I'd say mounts, but everybody's 50-50 on that.
I wouldn't.
I could care less. I could care less personally.
I don't think mounts are necessary. Just make the Azoth cost more either achievable or reasonable.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yep.
I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be a lot of things. And the funny thing is, I think they'll have a success in a way, Amazon, not New World, because they're the ones who's releasing Lost Ark to North America. And right now on Steam, that has overwhelmingly positive reviews. So maybe they'll have a success that they had no part in actually making. We'll see how that goes.
Wait, did that get released already?
No, but you could play like beta right now or or
Closed beta is
soon.
in like a week or the end of
Yep.
the week, something like that.
Yep, I'm excited for it, but I also still want New World to be better. Like, I just feel like it'll be another year before it gets there.
I think if it takes them a year to get their shit together and figure it out, then it takes them a year. That's
Yeah.
I don't think any amount of Twitter hate or social media angst is gonna pivot that into the right direction fast enough.
No.
You still have human people writing programmatic code. It takes time.
And they sold a lot of copies. Like, regardless, like it's not like it was not like a hot seller. Like, let's be real. They had over 600,000 people. Well, no, almost. They had over 700,000 people trying to play it at one time during launch day. So that's just that.
994,000.
Oh,
Is
really?
that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Times that by $40.
Yeah. So I mean, they have the investment already, and I have honestly, like, I've enjoyed it myself. So I mean, I did put some money into the premium currency aspect of it. So you add that into the aspect of things, they're gonna have the funds to hopefully do something to get the development right. But the problem is, and this is the biggest problem, and they're already killing the economy, they're killing the population, everything about it, and that's the worst thing to happen in an MMO, because people's attention spans are the worst thing. And as it is right now, people are already, this game is so people are disappearing from it. I mean, let's be real, how long did it take people to start looking at Final Fantasy again? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
people started really looking at Final Fantasy again because Blizzard fucked up real bad, and a lot of the WoW people finally took a jump.
Yep, that's definitely true. I feel like New World will be that bridge, like it is right now, until Final Fantasy or whatever other game they enjoy, whenever their next DLC drops or the game gets released or whatever. And then if New World comes out with like a really big update that adds some things to the game, I think a lot of people will go back, play it some more, then probably fizzle out again. I don't think it'll be many people's. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that still do it, but I don't think it'll be anybody's like everyday, all day game for years to come, unless a lot gets added to the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Endwalker-
vanilla WoW, like old vanilla WoW, was an absolute shit ton grind fest, but they had variety.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of content there comparatively. Like
Yeah.
even vanilla WoW has like the iteration of that just versus like most of the other expansions of WoW has more content in that original launch than any other expansions. Like Burning Crusades, like I think the only one that had more content, because they initially planned when they made Warcraft Classic, is that they expected people to only run the dungeons like one time. That's why they were so massive, like Blackrock Depths and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why they thought that, but yeah, that's why it got changed in iterations and stuff. But yeah, the I think Burning Crusade is the only one that had more content initially. Yeah, so there's nothing that they're going to be able to do. The best thing that they could do, honestly, is give it the time frame until Endwalker drops, because let's be honest, the majority of people that are left in that game are only holding on to it because there's nothing else they want to get into until Endwalker. It's not everybody, but it's probably you look at the population numbers running on the servers, and I guarantee it, because they've already dropped below 400,000. It's going to go it's probably going to be less than 100,000 players after Endwalker drops. It's probably going to shit can that game hard. Take that time when Endwalker drops, is pull the fucking plug on the game for a little while and just like either extended maintenance for fixing or something. Like, you're not going to lose the players. You don't have a sub fee. You've got their fucking money. Pull the fucking plug, let them go play Endwalker. They'll burn out on that shit, And then all of a sudden you announce, in a month, hey, here's the game again, all fucking fixed up and pretty. And the people that burned out on their initial first month of Endwalker, they'll come back. They don't have to pay for it.
True.
But that's not gonna happen. We know that. But they definitely it's a lot of big content creators have been screaming for them to just pull the fucking plug. Pull the plug and fix it. It's broken.
Yeah, at the wars at the very least, because it's like screwing everybody over. Hardcore. But yeah. Oh, and if anybody here hasn't played Lost Ark like at all, I recommend just try it. At least just try it. If you like MMOs, you like action RPGs, play this game. I was excited for it, like really, really excited. And then when I played it, it was even better than what I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm hoping that'll at least be one big success coming from roughly their direction.
Probably hard taking advice from somebody wearing a PlayStation shirt, but yeah, it's not wrong.
Yeah, I knew it. My New World shirt is in the wash, so I went with this. I actually was running around like, where's my fucking New World shirt? Of all the times to wear it.
Shots fired.
I always gotta give people shit for that.
Yeah, dude, I haven't had a PlayStation until since the PS3. I've never even played newer ones. But anyway,
hold on. So my wife actually pinged me the other day. She's like, "Hey, I saw this little news article that Sony's if you're a PlayStation subscriber, you may get an email to get a place in line where you can buy a PlayStation 5." She's like, "I'm ready to go. Just let me know what day and time to do it." And I'm like, I don't have any time to play. I play on the PC. I don't play on console anymore. And even now, I can't even get enough time to play with my friends. No.
Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, New World. I feel like we've expressed everything we can think of off the top of our heads now. I'm curious to see the Twitter updates on what the next bug will be. That's the new form of entertainment for me. Every day I've been seeing new videos. I'm like, what? You can do that in the game now? You could break the game in this way now? That is crazy. So
sausages.
I know, right? Unreal.